This is our first video here.
Oh wait, where's mine?
I don't know where it's Okay, here we go. Cheers. This is Pepsi. This was our test light before, but it's not as good as the one we currently have on. So yeah, this is our first video here. We're just gonna be talking about random stuff. This is our drinks. Cheers. What we were talking about earlier was the whole, what was it?
What was we doing?
It was the whole situation with the royal family and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, so what's your opinion on that whole situation? Considering rest in peace, my boy Phil. Prince Philip is now passed on to the other side.
Yeah. Duke of Edinburgh. Who's that? Did you do the Duke of Edinburgh when you were at school?
No.
No.
No. I wasn't in a posh school like you, I guess.
I was in it. I didn't understand what was going on. I didn't know.
Yeah. We're just talking about. Of course, you're gonna have people out there that's gonna blame certain people for his death just because
Certain
people.
people.
What? Some people could be negative. Yeah. So, of course, what we're talking about, Meghan Markle is the one we're obviously talking about. And so, yeah, it was just interesting to actually see people's reactions online on social media. And you get one side of the fence that is, of course, still loyal to the royal family. You get others that just say, oh, he was a racist and blah, 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 he was a nationalist. You get all sorts of...
And then you get like BBC One, which just run like a 4 or 5 hour show on everything.
Yeah,
which was quite nice actually to watch it.
No.
It was really good. I liked it. I didn't watch it when it came out. But I don't know what my opinion is. I don't have an opinion on them because I feel quite disconnected a little bit.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's so many things that you read about and you see and you don't know what to believe.
Of course.
That's where I'm at. I don't know. Obviously, it wasn't Markle's fault for killing Philip. I think I'm going to break that statement. Glad he didn't make it to 100 times.
Yeah, of course. People love the even numbers.
Didn't get a birthday card from his wife.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, I heard about that. My brother was actually telling me that when you get to 100, the Queen will send you a personalised letter. So
yeah, she writes it herself apparently.
Yeah.
Don't know if that's true.
The last death I saw, remember vividly, was when the Queen's mother passed away, and we actually in primary school we got these like golden like golden coins. I think that I'm mixing it up because the Queen's mother passed away. And then the Queen herself had the golden jubilee. I think that's what I'm mixing out. And they gave us this gold coins. Yeah. So yeah, that's like the last big thing I remember with the royals.
Did you have a street party as well?
Well, with the primary school. No. It was just more. I think it was like a sports sort of day.
Oh yeah. Oh, I missed the day.
Yeah, no, it was all good. So yeah, going back to what we're actually talking about here is the whole situation where the thing is that it looks like the public, especially the younger generation, are jumping on team Meghan Markle. And the thing is that if you look at it from a perspective of in the Western civilization, where essentially we go through a proper system where they need to be tried and investigated and all this stuff before ever putting the label of guilty. But it seems like people in the public are already putting the label as this person's guilty before they
did make some big claims.
But it was accusations at the end of the day, but people automatically think it's a fact. Even though the interview was quite shocking, but at the same time you have to see it from both sides and think, hang on, because imagine if in the criminal system everyone just believed the person who's making the accusations.
Yeah. In my mind, I see it as split in two. There was that accusation she made about what someone said, which can obviously be argued. Who was it? And did they mean it in that way, or did it happen? All these questions around that accusation. And then there's also the side of it of her own feelings. And I think it's so difficult to question that because it's someone's mentality. If she, it's not really on us to say, or there can't be an investigation into that because, you know, unless it's an investigation in how they dealt with it.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And again, they did make it clear in the US cut anyway that it was the institution, not the family. It wasn't, you know, the Queen who made it feel like that. It was more the press and the media and stuff, which I think is a wider problem than the actual family themselves.
Yeah, because in my when I did watch the whole documentary, I didn't see the ITV version. I saw the American version, and on there her testimony, sort of testimony to Oprah, which is a bit interesting to go to Oprah, and I guess it makes sense because Oprah is seen as that type of figure in America who's like, she does these hard-hitting interviews, you know. But at the same time, when she brings up the situation with the son and the name, and at the same time the naming of what title they're going to have, and that obviously struck a nerve with good old Piers Morgan. She walked out saying that was not the case, but yeah, that's another story in itself. And then we have a current situation where she mentioned that while she was pregnant, one of the family members, whoever it is, God knows who it is, made racist remarks. And the problem with that is essentially she didn't mention who it was, so everyone's just thinking, trying to pinpoint who it is, and then we think the whole family's racist.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously it would have had so many implications if they'd said the name, you know.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
a backlash.
Yeah, it's still gonna have a media frenzy over who did it, and even social media on who did it.
Yeah.
And you know, I mean, how, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean.
I really.
Yeah.
I don't think it. You know, I don't think it's false. I think a conversation around race did happen. How it was said, who said it, etc. We don't know, and that's why that sort of investigation is needed, isn't it?
Yeah, because you don't know exactly what was said, who said it.
Yeah, it was too vague, and
you know, that's one of the main things is what is it, who, what, where, when, all that sort of stuff is all left in the air. They didn't go into much detail, which obviously, if you are lacking detail in what you're saying, people tend to point the finger and say it's false because you're just making it up off the top of your head. It'd be interesting if she does interviews after that Oprah interview and whether the story stays the same, because a lot of the time people who are lying change a story over time.
But we've got to remember it was a conversation with Harry, wasn't it? It wasn't a conversation with Meghan. So
yeah, Harry told Meghan.
Harry told Meghan that. So it's like Chinese whispers.
Yeah.
Sometimes your memory can trick you into thinking, or if you've heard something, you know. I'm not saying that it didn't happen. I'm not saying that it wasn't completely out of order. I'm just saying that it dilutes it so much that people are now talking about it in a way that's it's not giving it enough substance. If someone, I would be so offended. I'd want to get down to the bottom of it. Why did they do it? Let's investigate it. Let's educate them on what to ask and what not to ask when you're having a child of another race in a family that's mostly all we don't know, do we?
No.
Maybe that are all white. So yeah,
it definitely is, and of course, like, I'm not gonna, from my eyes, it could go either way. Either something's happened in the royal family that has been racist. Everyone should agree upon that there should be an investigation, just like where we have investigations into the government. Like even after this COVID situation, there's going to be an investigation into the actions that in the early days of COVID, the actions that the government took into their own hands, which of course was lackluster, it wasn't prepared, and it was like a shit show. But just a similar fashion into that, because at the end of the day, the royal family is a public figure, you know. The public image is so important, because at the end of the day, the only reason why they're still around is to essentially they become a modern day like an amusement attraction, because they let's be honest, they attract quite a lot of tourists. That's why that's the main reason why they're still going on, because most other countries
are first video we're going to get shut down by the Queen.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
No. Of course. Like there's there's different aspects to it. That was just me cracking jokes. Yeah. But yeah, of course, there's a long history. There's a long passion with the royal family.
Yeah, and we do have to respect that.
Of course, yeah. Don't come after me. It's like MI5 knocking on the door, something like FBI coming. It's just a joke. Yeah, just to confirm. But
I know what you mean. Yeah, there is that element of it being this fairy tale that England still holds on to. So the UK, I should say. Sorry.
Yeah, UK. We're not splitting up
yet. I'm not nationalist.
We're not having the Scottish independence just yet. It might be coming in the future, but
maybe we'll see.
We'll see. But no. For sure, like the royal family has always been deep rooted into our society and our country's culture, and it's a part of us, just like the Union Jack. So something that's going to continue for a long time.
And it's the Queen's Platinum.
Yeah, probably coming up, I guess.
Next year.
Maybe. I mean, she had a diamond jubilee. When I was young, when she had a golden jubilee, so it's 50 years. Is it 75 years? That's probably the platinum. 75. Yeah, so she's been around. To be honest, like all of even my parents' lives, the Queen has been in power. She's like one of the
longest reigning monarchs.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's to be proud, especially to be a woman, to have a role model like that who's seen empires fall and rise. The world's changed since 1950 something.
I feel like she's
became queen, right?
Yeah.
Because what happened is that her father passed away. I think he had lung cancer or like throat cancer, because I think he was a chain smoker at the time. There wasn't, of course, education on what smoking does to a person. But from my understanding is that originally his brother's kids were supposed to get into power, but his brother essentially gave up the throne because I think he fell in love with an American, similar to Harry. But he was supposed to be his older brother. Then he gave the power to his brother, and then obviously his brother passed away when he went to Queen Elizabeth II. Yeah.
Yeah, but I like the way that they've been able to transition really well across the centuries.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
You know, I feel like they adapt quite well. And yeah, she's still an icon to many people in this country. So.
Yeah, for sure. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in the next few weeks following this funeral, and whether, in fact, considering it is his grandfather, whether he actually turns up to the funeral.
I think.
Considering they're all in the States, in California, and with all this COVID lockdown.
Oh, I know. I mean, I think unless it is a restriction thing, I think he would definitely come to the funeral. But obviously, then there's that whole.
Yeah, the timing is a bit difficult considering what was it? Was it a month ago, or was it even less than a month ago? They released that Oprah interview, and now Philip's passed away. I don't even know when the timing was. With this lockdown, every day all the days are like merging together. But yeah, it wasn't that long ago that interview was released, and now we got Philip passing away, which is of course his big news because he was married to the longest reigning monarch. He's been around for a really long time. Like I said again, since my parents' lifetime, the Queen has been there. So it is going to be weird one day that the Queen will be gone, and and we'll have someone else in power, and then all the notes will have to be changed because it's got the Queen on it. And yeah, it'll be a big change. I'm sure we'll have a bank holiday as well. Everyone's asking for a bank holiday already. So it's like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it will be a crazy change. I think when those things happen, it makes you realise how much it influences us with a photo being on money and all of that stuff. It's going to be a massive shock, you know, when that day comes.
So yeah, that was just our quick little chat about the current events with the royal family, and it's our first video here. We just thought, why not just talk about random things, see how things go on. But yeah, if you guys like it, just share your opinions. Let's just see how it comes along. And if we missed anything out, just share it in the comments. We would love you for both of us to read it. Add your likes if you actually like it, dislike it if you don't like it, it's fine. We're not going to get upset and just hunt you down. Like, we're not the royal family or shit.